Bermuda Cricket Board this season, part of one of my initiatives that when I came on board and assessing what we needed in cricket. We are looking to start the league early this year in April. So we'll be starting the league with open cricket, down to 50 overs, down to T20. The other thing, we will be employing an electric scoring system called Cricket HQ for all clubs to use, which will supply ball-by-ball updates to our website, which then can be followed live. So that's the type of things that we're looking to do this year. Now, I'd like to say, I'm proud of the work and dedication that the players selected have put into preparation for this first step towards the World T20 in 2020. This competition is out of season for us, but our goal is to win it outright and build confidence in our team for the World Cricket League Division 4 tournament in Malaysia. The squad is very good. It's a very good blend of senior and young players, with some of the young players that have come through our development pathways and supplemented with some very experienced players. I encourage all Bermuda to support our squad unreserved and wish the players the support and staff all the best for the tournament. At this time, I'll let our national coach announce the team for you.
Okay, the team is as follows. Sure. The team is as follows: Dion Stovall, captain; Tan Frey, vice captain; Gennaro Tucker, Stephen Bremer, Akira Bascom, Charles Trott, Tracy James, Kamal Lavrock, Jacoby Robinson, Mackay Simmons, CJ Otterbridge, Kyrie Smith, Trey Manders, and Tamika Wilson. That's the traveling party. The standby players are Jordan Smith, Christian Burgess, Onias Bascom, Zico Burgess, LJ Richardson, Nairobi Mills, and Cameron Jeffers.
Any questions, Cameron?
Yes. Clay, is there anyone in the team that's not in the team you would have liked to have included?
Well, to be quite honest, Stephen Otterbridge has been training extremely hard with the team as well. Unfortunately, he's unable to travel due to the fact that both tournaments are so close to back-to-back work-wise. It was beneficial for him to choose one, and we felt that the trip to Malaysia was obviously the more important trip for him to focus on.
The blend, was it difficult trying to match these guys together? Because obviously we haven't, over the last few years, even in our under-19s and our senior team, haven't sort of landed well when it comes to the tournament. So this blend that you have, do you think this is the right fit for this particular event?
Yeah, it's a good blend. I mean, if you look at it, it's a mixture of youth and experience. Some of these guys, we have about 6 players making their first time actually representing Bermuda at the senior level, that is. Some of them have played obviously in the under-19s, but for senior level. So it's good to get them this exposure and making that transition from under-19s to senior level. We think they're definitely good enough. These guys have worked tremendously hard over the last 3 months because we've been training since November. So for us, it's a chance to see whether or not they're good enough to play at this level.
Looking at these names, what are you asking of Gennaro Tucker?
What Gennaro does best. He's a senior player. We're just asking him to come in and play a specific role in the middle of the order. He'll probably bat either 4 or 5 depending on the level of competition. But basically just coming in and adding some experience and leading by example. What we did when we went to Canada last summer, we had a very good mixture of seniors and youngsters, and each senior player actually took on a youngster as a roommate to guide them along, and we're in that process of transferring some of these youngsters from under-19s to senior level, and the more he's around sharing his knowledge and wealth with these guys, the better it's going to be for Bermuda cricket in the future.
You have a score of 40, I think, initially. What was the attendance like at this session? And because obviously we're still missing, in honesty, we're still missing players who people would expect to be in the squad. Are they in training, or what's the situation?
No, if players aren't here, it's because they haven't been training, basically. We had a squad of about 40. Obviously, under 40, there's about 15 that are overseas in England, roughly, in school or living. So local base, we were working with about 25 realistically, and from a training per se, we had roughly about 18 out of those 25 that committed themselves to training. And obviously we have standards in place for players to meet, so that guidelines, and these are the players that have worked their heart off for Bermuda, and they will be they deserve the opportunity to represent Bermuda.
Obviously, Dion is captain. What has happened to the captaincy? We know OJ's health situation. Is he now no longer the captain of Bermuda, or what is the situation?
Yes, OJ actually wrote into Bermuda Cricket Board requesting to leave, basically to step away for the time being until he gets himself sorted out. And in such time, Dion for the T20 is been brought in as the T20 captain, and with Taryn as vice captain. However, for the 50-over cricket, as you know, we were playing 2 50-over games while we're down there as well. The roles will actually reverse. Taryn will skip with the 50-over team, with Dion being the vice captain.
So who's going to be captain when we go to second?
Well, ideally, Taryn will look to take the captaincy with working with Dion on the side, and also you have Gennaro and Stephen, who are senior players that we're looking to obviously offer some information while they're on the field if need be.
So what two captains now? But I mean, are they in place for the foreseeable future, or what is the situation?
Well, they're in place for these two tournaments. The next tournament, I'm not sure. I don't think it's until next year. So right now, these guys will be in place. Again, if OJ was to come back, then we'll have to have that discussion again, whether or not we want to insert OJ back in, or if we feel comfortable with Taryn doing the job that he's doing. You know, if he's doing an admirable job, then obviously we'll probably stick with him. It just depends. That would be discussions that would have to be had if that comes to light.
He has expressed interest in possibly leading his country again. He has ruled it out, I guess, in his letter.
Well, in his letter was just basically saying he has to remove himself for the time being, but if and when he can come back to play for Bermuda, he'll love to play again.
Okay, what excites you about the 6 guys that this will be the first senior appearance?
These guys have a tremendous work ethic. We have been training under the guidance of Nick Jones, has been doing the fitness aspect of it, and these guys have worked, I'm talking about tremendously hard. We train as a team 4 times a week, and then we also have it set up whereby if players want to, they can do one-on-one sessions outside of our training. And some of these guys have gone over and beyond the Call of Duty in terms of meeting with Nick one-on-one in his gym, doing cycling, doing fitness work, meeting with me, doing Lorenzo, doing actual bowling. So they're really committed to the course. They want to be a part of it, you know, and that really excites me, because when you look at guys like Charles Trott, Kyrie, Makai Simmons, and Crazy, these guys are all exciting players. You know, they produce the goods in the league cricket, and now it's just a matter of can they make that next step up from league cricket to senior international cricket.
What are you expecting to face in Argentina as far as wicket wise? Well,
we have some guys like Lorenzo as the coach has been over there before. He's gave us some information about what the wickets are like. They tend to play really pretty true with a little bit of spin or whatever the case may be. So we're looking to go over there and we win the toss. We're looking to bat and post totals. That's what we do. Post totals and then put teams under pressure by batting them out the game. And we have a deep batting lineup. Goes right down to number 10. I mean, even CJ as our opening bowler showed you last year in Malaysia that when him and OJ put on, I think it was like a 50-60-run partnership, that he's capable of batting. So our batting is very deep. So we're looking to bat teams out the game.
Are you concerned that we haven't been in the middle since the season and going into a tournament right away?
That's a small concern, yes, but we do have access to BHS, and we put a lot of work, and we're still going to put a lot more work in over the next couple of weeks, you know, doing a lot of repetition stuff in the utilizing the nets. But for us, this tournament, I have to say, you know, we want to get through it, and we're using this tournament actually as a forms of finding our form and getting ourselves prepared for what I would think is the bigger tournament in Malaysia. So this is actually going to help us prepare for the next tournament.
Have you asked the players not to play football until after Malaysia?
That's out of my realms. That goes to there's people that are higher above me that have
Okay,
to
Mr.
make
President.
those decisions.
Mr. President, have the players been asked to not play football during the interim of these 2 tours, or especially for this first tour?
For the first tour, actually, in the contract that they signed at the beginning, it states that as soon as the team has been announced that they're supposed to stop football, but actually we have asked them to stop as of February the 1st. Okay, so that's the day that they're going to be asked not to play any more football, which gives us plenty of time for our coach to make sure that everybody's fit and in shape for the tour. And coming back from Argentina, then we'll reassess it. We try to keep players, as soon as the team has to be announced and be presented to ICC, make a judgment on when players should be actually just concentrating on cricket.
From an administrative point of view, can we see this team actually using the National Sports Center facility to prepare in the middle at some point in time before they go on this first trip?
No, that's not going to be possible. We already tried to talk to the National Stadium and to try to get the field ready. That's not going to be possible for them. So actually what we're trying to do is, not for this tour, but actually try to get Bay ready. So Bay, when they come back off this tour, they have full access to Bayless Bay for preparation going towards Malaysia.
How difficult has it been in the process of you, this is your first team as president, the process? Because obviously one on the outside doesn't know what the process is on the inside. You've been on the board before, but has the process been difficult or different putting this together?
No, the process hasn't been difficult. It's like, ICC Americas gives you a lot of timelines that you have to meet, and actually getting everybody on board, from the coach to the selectors to the administration on board, to make sure that we meet all the timelines. But no, it hasn't been difficult.
Clay, from your experience, obviously you've played against Argentina and Cuba back in your time. Take a couple years off of those things. But what are you expecting from your opponents this time around? Because they're a little younger. I'm not sure about experience-wise, but what are you expecting from Argentina and Cayman here?
From what I know of them, both of them are in a rebuilding stage of their process, but we're not underestimating them. We done some research on Cayman, especially because they just played in the Division 5 last year. So even though they lost most of the games, they're still a formidable opponent, so we can't underestimate these guys. And neither Argentina, last time we played Argentina, they were exceptionally good fielding team as well. So, we're expecting some tough cricket, but we are expected to win these matches. And hopefully, like I said, we can use these matches to get ourselves in some good form and build our confidence.
Would you have liked to have played back-to-back games on days as opposed to one game a day?
No, actually, I like it how it is, simply because the weather is like it is in Bermuda. Those days off that we have out in Argentina, hopefully the weather will be conducive. We're going to actually utilize those days to do some extra training with the squad.
And because you said there's a switch in the captaincy for the 20 overs, the 50 overs, how much of the team you think will change dynamics from the 20 over to the 50?
It's tough question. We have about 3 or 4 other players that are maybe vying for a position for the 50 over competition. We're going to have to reassess after this tournament how well players do, how they make the adjustment to the senior level, and then it's about what do we need, make sure that we strike a good balance and go from there, basically.
And the last question for me to the president. It always seems as if we managed to get ourselves in tournaments out of our season. Has there been any talk with the ICC Americas, especially in our region, about having tournaments within like a schedule that we all play at the same time, kind of thing?
Well, that's always being talked about. Just happened that Argentina is hosting, so this is Argentina's season, so we're pretty much going and playing in their season. If say a more northerly team like Cayman or us was hosting, then it would have been played in our season. As well as ICC America was looking to get this tournament done early, hoping that they can have the next run in 2018 but it looks like, due to funding through ICC, that the next round is not going to be to 2019. So that was another reason why Argentina was considered for hosting. So it's always a factor that we're trying to get the games closer to our season as possible. But it all depends on who we're playing and who is in that division. That the reason why those games get played at that time.
And the step up is to face who? Only one team go up in this?
2 teams go up,
Two
actually.
teams go up, and then obviously beat Canada and USA.
Well, it's not been determined yet. Those rounds haven't been played.
Oh, okay. All right.
You mentioned at the beginning about the season starting in April or potential desire. Have you spoken to the BFA about that? Obviously they would have to do when it comes to scheduling matches before that.
Oh, actually, I actually have spoken to the BFA, got the master schedule from the BFA, and we have sat down and their actually last game is April 1st. Their actual league game is April 1st. So we're definitely looking to start after April 1st. Well, actually, I'm aiming for April 14th right now. Depends on, like I said, is making sure that the groundsmen can have the fields available by April 14th. That's what we're working for. But if it's not April 14th, definitely will be the weekend after that.
Over the years, some fields have taken a lot longer due to groundsmen being pulled here and there, doing sometimes 3 fields. How would the association or the board help to ensure that there's enough groundsmen around to take care of the field to prepare it in the matter of 4 weeks, 3 weeks?
I don't know what the length of each field takes to get to for prep. Speaking to the groundsmen I've been spoken to, and one of the groundsmen that we use to go down to the course.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It depends on what the field has done from the year before.
Mm-hmm.
If this is a year where they're redoing the whole surface, it's normally about 6 weeks. If they redone the whole surface the year before and this year is just topping up, it's approximately about 3 weeks. So it all depends on what each club has done the year before. So we can determine from the board as how people take care of the field. So we have to basically say, when you're gonna make your field available, and hopefully we can, urge them to get it ready as soon as possible.
One final question. So your key, I guess, would be Okero, Bascom, and Mika Wilson will be the second key.
Yeah, Okero will be starting off as keeper, but obviously with such a tournament like Malaysia coming up, we will give Tamiko some exposure because we want to see how he does as well on that international stage.
Genero still very much part of your plans there, obviously.
Yeah, actually. Gennaro went with us to Canada last year, and it was funny because that was his first time playing under me as coach. And when he came back, he was so enthused about the team unity and the camaraderie amongst the players that he actually reached out to me and said, "Clay, listen, I'm not done yet. I want another year. I want one more shot at this. Again, Bermuda qualified for Division 3. And I mean, if you see Gennaro, you'll see him. He looks absolutely fit. The guy's been working extremely hard. He's taking this very seriously because we talk a lot about when you leave this game, what do you want to leave behind? And he wants to, what legacy are you going to leave behind? And obviously he wants to go out with a bang, so he's doing everything in his power to really prepare himself so that he can have a good tournament. Well, well, I'll tell you what, the group, if you look at this group, these guys is a good group that's coming along. Obviously, you would love to have 2 or 3 others that have that same commitment, but you can only do what you can do, I'm happy with the group that we have. These guys, like I said, they're very focused, they're very committed to playing for Bermuda, and that's what you want.